My work-life balance before my accident, it would be fair to say that there was a blurring of the edges, that it really was 80% work and 20% of the social side. I took on a role in the commercial sector, got married, moved overseas, new country, new job, and that was sort of into my 30s. I got on the career ladder and was really sort of pushing to make up time. And then my relationship started to fall apart. And then I looked at coming back to Australia, and I came back to Australia on my own. And really it just spiraled from there. Some of the behavioural things that were happening were that I was almost running 24/7. And by running, I mean working, operating without sleep, using alcohol as a crutch, and then going back to work again. The benefit of using alcohol at the time was it was an escape. I could sit down and have a drink, and it was almost like it would wash the problems, the pressure away. The downsides of the alcohol was that the amount. I wasn't an angry drunk, but I don't believe I was an alcoholic, but I was a binge drinker. I would drink quite a considerable amount. The downside was that friends, and they've told me subsequently, didn't like going to drink with me because you couldn't just have one drink with Les. One drink would be several bottles. I went through periods where I was suicidal. It did enter my mind at that time that enough is enough. I don't believe that I ever got to the point where I seriously thought of going that next step. There was always something that held me back. The key to taking my first step was when I fell 25, 30 foot from a tree, and I was intoxicated at the time. I was taken to the intensive care unit. When I got out of hospital, I went out to the rehabilitation centre, had medical specialists there assisting me. Still in denial, because even though I was told not to drink, I still did have the occasional glass of wine. And it was when I got home with my family that I decided that enough was enough. I gave up alcohol, and I still remember where I was when I just decided. And I guess the pain that it had that I'd caused, not just myself, but I'd caused those around me, was enough to make me say, right, that's it. I'm not drinking it again. One of the things that I did when I first sought help was I put a team of medical professionals around me, which was my GP, my psychologist, my psychiatrist. I used them for assistance when I needed it. When I went through dips, when I started feeling pretty low, because at the time I'd gone from quite a senior role within an organisation to having the accident, to then being out of work and this head injury, and it was really getting them to assist me to take control of my life and move forward. Losing my job was one of the hardest experiences that I've had to go through. I guess a lot of me and my masculinity was wrapped up in the job, and having lost that, I lost a sense of my identity. And so it was a period where I was searching for who I was and trying to find myself again. I did do the do-it-yourself stuff, and the do-it-yourself stuff included jogging, walking, taking time to just enjoy the simple things. I would set goals, small goals for what I wanted to achieve that week, and then I'd come back and review those. So yeah, exercise was definitely a big part of it, and that was important as well, because the left side of my body was impacted by the injury as well. I think I'm doing very well in managing my depression now. I have my routine in place, and it's making sure that I just keep myself in check. And a key part of that is with my family and friends. But exercise, keeping on exercising, and balance, making sure that I eat properly, and that I don't overexert myself at work. With friends, colleagues that I come into contact with, is just talking to them, and sometimes just listening to what they have to say, and without intruding on their personal lives, but just where you might cut things short, just asking a few simple questions. Are you all right? Is a pretty good question to ask. But then following it up, because the male, because I've done this myself, the male response to that will normally be yes, I am all right. But just following that up with are you? You don't look. You look like something's bothering you. I don't want to get into your personal life if you're not comfortable talking to me, but just want to know if you're all right. The big goals that I'm looking forward to, I achieved one of the most significant, which was getting married at the end of last year, and watching my 7-year-old son continue to do really well at school and sport, and watch him grow into a young man. I'm already teaching my son about masculinity, and I have been for years. And it's one of the key things around that is it's okay not to have all the answers, and it's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to ask for help and support. And one of the other key pieces of information that I provide him with is a problem shared is a problem halved.